Don't you dare give up on yourself. It's just so sad to see that moment when someone gives up on themselves. That moment when someone gives up on the life they deserve because they listened to other people who did the same. Listen to me. This is important. Don't you dare give up on yourself. Other people might give up on you, but don't you ever give up on yourself. Other people might stop believing in you, but don't you ever stop believing in yourself. People will let you down. You can guarantee that, but that is not important. What is important is that you don't let yourself down. Have inner integrity. If you tell yourself you will do something, do it. If you try and fail, try again. Learn the lesson. Learn and grow until you are ready to conquer whatever it is in your life that needs conquering. Maybe your father walked out. Maybe your mother didn't support you. Maybe your friends are never there for you. I don't know your situation, but I do know this. The only way you can lose in life is if you lose faith in yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Don't lose faith. Trust that you can turn any situation around. You can. How can you be better? How can you learn more and apply that learning so you can earn more? It's all about you. Do not give up on you. Believe in you. Back yourself in everything you do in life.
A promissory note is a written promise by one party to pay another party a specified sum of money either on demand or at a specified future date. It is commonly used in business as a means of short-term financing. For example, when a company has sold many products but not yet collected payments for them, it may become low on cash and unable to pay its own creditors with cash. In this case, it may ask its creditors to accept a promissory note that can be exchanged for cash at a future time after it collects its accounts receivables. Alternatively, it may ask the bank for the cash in exchange for a promissory note to be paid back in the future. Promissory notes lie between the informality of an IOU and the legal rigidity of a loan contract. A promissory note generally contains all the terms relevant to the indebtedness, such as the amount, interest rate, maturity date, date and place of issuance, and issuer's signature. It is usually held by the party that is owed the money and returned to the issuer when payment is made. It does not usually explain methods of recourse if the issuer does not pay on time. When such a note is unconditional and saleable, it may be sold as a financial instrument. These are often called negotiable instruments.
Lawsuits and fraud in the inducement. How do you prove fraud in the inducement, or signing a document and not knowing what was signed, or arguing that you didn't know what you were signing or that you didn't sign it? How do you prove that in a court of law with the correct testimony? Now, there's a very recent case that was just handed down April 6, 2018 by Florida's 2nd District Court of Appeal on fraud in the inducement. It had to do with a promissory note, a loan document, and it's very, very important because the court tells you what the testimony at trial revealed and how that was deficient or not deficient. Very important, right? If you're claiming there's fraud, you generally have to allege that with specificity. The court wants particular acts of fraud, particular elements, particular allegations that tell the court exactly what the fraud was. Then you have to prove it at trial. How do you prove fraud at trial? You need great testimony, or you need documents, and you need somebody to bring those documents into evidence. A great case to read where the fraud in the inducement really wasn't demonstrated at trial. It gives you a great lesson on testimony, what you need to prove fraud in the inducement, and what is deficient, and what you expect or should expect from your witnesses to win your fraud case. AGIA versus OSI, AGIA versus OSI, OSSI, April 6, 2018. You can read this fraud case free of charge at the opinion section of the 2nd District Court of Appeal website.
So a promissory note is nothing more than a typical IOU. The promoter raises money by saying, here, I'm going to give you 12% of your money, and they give you the promissory note promising to pay you back 12% per year until they pay you back. The money is then allegedly invested in some private deal, whether it's real estate, whether it's a private business, or maybe they're just trading the money in the market. The problem with promissory notes is, again, these are unregistered investments. So you don't have audited financial statements, you don't have the Financial Regulatory Authority or the SEC overseeing the offering of the investment, and you don't get proper disclosure. For most cases, promissory notes are actually often illegal securities that are offered in violation of state and federal securities laws. I would tell most investors, stay away from promissory notes. They're rarely suitable for anybody.
Managing partner in Bloodworth Law, with offices in Orlando, Florida, and Winter Haven, Florida. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what happens if someone's persuaded to enter into a contract based upon fraudulent information. What is fraudulent inducement? Fraudulent inducement occurs when one person convinces another person, through deception, that something false is true, and that the resulting contract is based upon that deception. In Florida, the law provides certain protections when someone makes a fraudulent statement that causes you to enter into a contract. Fraudulent inducement is the name of a cause of action in a complaint when a person has been tricked or defrauded into entering into a contract or transaction. A person has committed fraud in the inducement if that person made a false statement about a material fact, that person knew or should have known that the representation was false, the person made the statement in order to induce a person to act, and the person's reliance on the statement caused him or her an injury. For example, when the seller of a business cooks the books and inflates the bottom line of that business to convince a buyer to purchase a business, that's fraudulent inducement. Another example, if you enter into a contract because the other party gave you false information or omitted relevant facts, such as the business is completely dead during the summer and fall, which causes you a financial loss, that could be fraudulent inducement. In these cases, the usual remedy is to have a contract rescinded, effectively voiding the contract and returning the parties to the position they were before entering into the contract, which means the plaintiff gets his or her money back. If you're a business owner who wants to protect your future business interests, you should hire a recommended attorney for a consultation. Again, I'm attorney Reed Bloodworth, the managing partner of Bloodworth Law. If you suspect you were given